It was just overwhelming. I remember waking up that first morning and looking up and seeing the chandelier 14 feet above in the ceiling and being so surprised by that. And then I got up and decided I would go downstairs, and instead of using the elevator, I thought, well, I'm going to walk down the stairs. And so I did, and I got to the kitchen, and I went back and I found a pot of coffee there and some styrofoam cups, and so I began pouring myself some coffee. Well, in the kitchen was the cook, and of course, and the prisoners who were there who helped. And I know a while, one of the prisoners come running toward me, and he says, "Oh, don't do that, don't do that." I thought, oh my goodness, I've made a mistake, my first day on the job. And he says, "Oh," he says, "the First Lady doesn't drink coffee out of a paper cup." I said, "Oh, I didn't know that." And so he goes back and brings me a Lenox cup, which of course has a flared top that cools the coffee very quickly. And I said, "Oh, I don't think so." I said, "How about a mug?" And he said, oh, that's fine. So after that, he always had a mug out there for me. But that was my first day there, and I will always remember that because of the coffee problem I had. Being there at the mansion, there's so much opportunity. You have a stage where you can do so many things that you might not ordinarily be able to do. And I wanted to do some things that would bring the house and history alive. And I decided I would take on the project of children. That was something I knew something about, and so we did some things for children. We had the Disney Arts Festival for 3 years, and 3-day festival, and children came from the urban areas and from the rural areas, and it was just a delightful hands-on experience for children. And then, of course, we had the Spooktacular at Halloween, and we provided a safe and a really a good time for kids at Halloween, and they enjoyed that. And of course, we enjoyed it a lot too because we got all dressed up in costumes. And we had a children's hour on Saturday where kids came, and sometimes we would teach them etiquette and things that they might be interested in. And so we enjoyed doing some of those things for children, and so that was sort of the primary focus of my work while I was there. I remember noticing it, that there was just a ring, a metal ring out in front of the yard that was filled in with dirt, and I inquired about it and found that there had once been a fountain there back in the 1900s, and it had fallen over, and they'd taken it away, and then they had turned the base of it into a flower garden. And so it occurred to me that it might be a good idea to put that back, and I had to go, of course, to raise the money to be able to do that. And so I set out to do that, and we were able to raise the money, and I decided that I would make it a fountain that was dedicated to children. That was one of the great experiences, to be able to write a book, especially the one that I wrote about the families that lived there. I have a copy of it here. It was called If Walls Could Talk. And it features the families, each of the families, the husband, the wife, and what they did before they came to the mansion, and what they did while they were there, and then afterwards as well. And it has lots of pictures in there of what they did. I think it is important that we realize that we have a very unique piece of history there, and that we preserve it, and that each family lives there realizes that they need to do part of that. You just can't consume the resource. You have to do something to give back. And so if each family feels as though they are leaving it better than they found it, I think that would be a good attitude to have when you live there. I'm doing some writing and speaking and blogging and all the things I enjoy doing most. But getting to be a grandmother full-time is something I'm enjoying too. I have a new little granddaughter here. Thank you. Here is Harper Carnahan. She's Tom and Lisa's little girl, and she is just 6 months old. I think having the opportunity to live there and to do some things that I would not ordinarily have been able to do. Where else could I have done so many things for children? Where else could I have had the opportunity to write a book about such an exciting thing? And so it offered me so many opportunities that I would not have had in any other way. And of course, being there with my family, I realized that the mansion offered me some of the happiest times of my life, and it offered me also the saddest. And so I have a lot of mixed memories as a result of living there.